You are
No,
unbelievable.
I have 4 guys on the list, but I'll just mention one, and I
All
start
right.
with Carson Strong. And
Good
here's a guy. When you look at his measurables from all the experts, he has all the intangibles to have been a first-round draft pick.
I'll tell you, I don't know about you guys. And we'll talk about this a lot today. I hate that there isn't practice to at least talk about and
Really?
break down. Yes. Yeah, man.
It just doesn't seem right, man.
We got a little taste yesterday, and now all of a sudden that's taken away today. They're doing what they call walkthroughs, which doesn't mean they're not doing anything, but it's not intensity level that you had maybe yesterday in the 58 minutes of intensity that they had.
Well, did you hear what Slay said? Slay said that he gets a lot out of those walkthroughs because they walk through certain situational football. And he can ask questions during that time period. You know, usually when you're out of field, especially when you have practice that are 58 minutes, that means you're going rep, and then you go watch it inside. Right. We say during these walkthroughs, he gets a lot out of them because he can stop, be like, all right, this just happened. What can I do to stop this? Or who's going to do this? Who's supposed to have this responsibility? So it kind of helps him out a little bit, you know. So I think it's supposed to, they go in threes. They go in threes. So work hard 3 days now. And I heard they said that it's usually the 3rd day that you get the soft tissue injuries when the body.
Yeah, that's what the research says. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're doing it the 3rd day. So evidently, when they first got in, they did a strenuous conditioning test. Then they practiced the next day. So I guess today's the day 3, in which they right. I would be playing. I'd probably had a Tom Brady-esque length of my career if I was able to do that.
Yeah, you'd still be playing if that's the way it was
There's
approached.
no question I'd be. I really believe my first 4 years of my NFL career probably took 15 years off of my life, my total life. So
I believe it, man.
Hey, day 3 of an Andy Reid practice back in the day, they were head banging in, man. It was like that was the first day of hitting, the 3rd day of practice.
Out of that.
You know, that's when the most people would converge on camp with that first day of hitting, because it was like clockwork. It was a given. 1 or 2 fights would break out. You know, there'd be so much tension. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness! First day hitting. That's how sick we are in this industry. We couldn't wait to get to practice, and we would lay odds on who the first combatants would be every year in practice.
It was Runyon a lot. Runyon was involved in a lot.
Yeah, Runyon stirred up a lot of stuff, man. Cheap shot and stuff, his own teammates and stuff.
Right. Remember Trey said that.
Yeah, he would play to the whistle, man. You knew that. I mean, you knew that.
That's the competitive nature. That's why they went to 4 straight NFC East, 4 straight NFC championship games, because the level of intensity they had during practice. Is it different now? Yes. The collective bargaining has it different. Yes, we understand that. Ever since Corey Stringer passed away from being in practicing too long, not giving guys adequate water breaks and all those things, they've been using this to give the NFL players kids gloves. You can't handle the way they used to handle them. And the product has suffered, though. I will say that the product has suffered. You see a lot more mistakes in the first 4 to 6 weeks of football during the season than you do before. I mean, hopefully they get acclimated to it, and it's not as bad this year, but last year was atrocious.
I will say this, though. Considering what just happened down in Tampa, I don't know if I blame Nick Sirianni for backing off this early.
Yeah, so what Derek's referencing is Ryan Jensen, their center, got carted off with what looked like a bad knee injury, and he threw his helmet coming off. Todd Bowles acknowledged the injury, but they wouldn't dig any deeper. Jason liked it too. They wouldn't dig any deeper into it, but it didn't look real good, man. That's 3 pieces missing now from Tampa's offensive line. Margaret retired. The other kid went to Cincinnati. And is it Rappa? I'm trying to remember who it was. And now Jensen. Kappa. That's a big deal, man.
Anytime a player goes down and throws their helmet, they know.
Yeah,
that's the season right there. That's it. They automatically know.
That's tough. But also, Marcus Price. Yeah, back in the day, exactly. Back in the day, that's how you judge the future. That's what you know. You can't just forget about the past and take on the future. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to listen. Just understand the past is what makes you hold yourself accountable going into the future.
I think that, here's what I think. It's not like the hey, just get off my lawn thing. I think it's I think it's interesting just to kind of look at it and debate this a little bit. Look, from an Eagles standpoint, they were the least injured team last year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get it. Like they have concrete evidence, at least the way they approached it last year going into the season worked.
Right.
And Barrett, here's what you weigh. Healthy, still standing in week 15, 16, 17 playoffs, whatever, versus maybe the first 3-4 weeks where you're sloppy, your technique might not be great, missed tackles, whatever. You try and weigh that. The Eagles also started off 2-5. Did that have anything to do with it? I don't know. And maybe
it absolutely did. It absolutely did.
It's a balancing scale.
Yeah, and you're mentioning back in the day, but let's go back in the day when you didn't have the multitude of injuries coming out of camps and early in seasons that you've had in the recent 5 years.
Yes,
the
why?
Injuries, they keep going up because they're not ready. The body's not ready to play.
They're not hardened enough. They haven't done enough to go through the rigmaroles of a 16-game season.
The hamstrings, the ACLs, the Achilles injuries that we've been seeing over the last 5 years, it's unlike anything we've seen in football. So yes, Marcus Price, back in the day, your body was trained a lot differently than it is today, and now you're in a hold your breath kind of holding pattern every practice and at least the first 5-6 games of the season, because guys are dropping like flies because their bodies are not ready.
Well, their bodies aren't ready in the aspect that you don't know how hard you can push your body if you never push it there. You don't know what your limit is unless you take it to the limit. That's why, your body that's why when people lift weights, people don't lift weights. The reason you get stronger is because you're tearing muscle when you're lifting weights. And that's why your muscle they have to build the muscles that you tore, and that's how you get stronger. Well, that's kind of how playing in NFL is. You got to take your body to its limit. You do that in practice, and once you take it to that limit, you know exactly where you can stop and where you can't stop. But if you never push your body to that limit, how do you know how far you can take it? And that's my gripe. You harden your body to being hit. So these are the most conditioned athletes I've ever seen in my life. All these players come into camp in the best shape I've ever seen. I mean, even the offensive linemen have abs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Defensive linemen have abs. These guys. Lane Johnson, Aaron Donald. They look like Greek gods.
Yeah.
The way they condition, but there's nothing you condition. There's no way you can condition your body about taking on a double team with 700 pounds worth of beef by Jordan Mailata and Dickerson drive blocking you if you don't go through and see if your body can handle those type of things.
What would you like to see then? Like, I get, this is an extreme now, and it was probably an extreme when Dick Vermeil had 3 a days. And your day was kind of somewhere in the middle, I guess. What would you like to see now? What would be the best approach for you?
I understand the days of practice, the amount of practices, but I would like to have a little more hitting just to get your body acclimated to playing a little more. Situational football, a little more team periods, things like that. You don't necessarily need to go out there and do a lot of the one-on-one stuff and, all that type of stuff. I'm talking about, going through and seeing stuff on the field that you can apply, as offensive linemen, just taking that extra step to make a block. A lot of times they go into games that they don't take that extra step because they haven't conditioned themselves to take that extra step to finish a block. Yeah. That just comes with doing it. So once you get in there and you got a defensive lineman moving away from you, and you got to speed up your feet to hang on to the block and then take 2 extra steps to get past the block, those are the little things you need in practice. You work on in practice. You get better in practice doing those things.
I don't think we'll ever see that again. Once the players won that element in the latest collective bargaining agreement, they're never going to give that up again in a contract. They may not win the money battle in terms of how much money they want to get in terms of salaries, average salaries, retirement benefits, things like that, but they're never going to give up this lessening of practice. I refer to it, Barrett, as a shock value because you tiptoe through preseason training camp, and by the time you got to hit the ground running, your body's in shock because it's full-scale collisions that first game of the season, and you're shocking your body into shape instead of slowly and gradually getting your bodies into shape the way you did back in the day.
What did Mike Tyson say? What did Mike Tyson say?
Everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
That's right. That's right. It's so true. It is so true.
That's exactly what it is.
That's one of the great lines ever, by the way.
Right, it is, man. You know, man, but it's true though, man. Once you got somebody 245, 250 pounds running straight through your chest. Yeah. I remember, man. I mean, first time I got out of pads, and we're in practice, and I go up, and I go to run through. I'm blocking 907. I'll go to run through Willie T, and Willie T's not taking that. Willie T's a finesse player. Willie T's in 907. You know, he'll Olay block you and run around you. You know, because that's what it was. But I thought I was gonna run through and try to run straight through his chin. And what did he do? He Olayed me. I fell flat faced on the ground. Next play, I go out and I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna run through Kirk Avea, and I think he's gonna do the same thing. Step out the way. Man, he put his helmet right here underneath my chin and jacked me up. I was he's not Olay blocking. Kirk Avea is going to run through you. You know what I mean? So you just got to know, man, what you're dealing with out there. And these kids won't know what they're dealing with until they do it, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, look, there is definitely, I think, a debate and merit on both sides of this thing. And the Eagles are this goes above Sirianni, too. I mean, this is Howie. Sirianni said it yesterday. Look, I got to trust my medical people. I got to trust the trainers. I got to listen to everybody when it comes to this. I mean, look, he's a hyper-competitive guy. I don't know if it's necessarily the way he would want to go, but this is what the analytics, I know when people hear that word, they're going to lose their mind, but this is what the analytics and the data tell them. And this is, again, they're not alone in this. Let's be clear. They probably take it to the nth degree, the Eagles do, but everybody has cut it way back from what it used to be.
Even Belichick. Even Belichick's cut it back. And he hates that.
Yeah, it drives him nuts. He's got to be like, sitting back in his office losing his mind because of it.
But not only that, but every team has somebody watching to make sure you don't exceed.
That's correct.
And here's the thing I found out recently. There are players on teams that will notify the league anonymously and notify the league office.
Yes.
If guys are if teams are exceeding.
There's almost like a tip line, Derek.
There is. That's what it is.
The hotline, a tip hotline. Yeah.
If something's going down, and this applies to like harassment or like anything really, I guess, but it definitely applies to this because this has happened to teams before. Yeah. They've been on the field too much in an OTA, and they'll lose their draft pick or something like that. They'll get fined.
Or lose X amount of practices.
Correct.
Well, look what happened in Minnesota and Chicago. Those guys were doing a little more than they were supposed to be doing during the OTAs, and they got fined for it, and everything else for it. So, I mean, it comes with if you're not cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, and Showtime's right. They have cameras at practices that are like league cameras that are independent of the Eagles or whomever, whatever team you're talking about. That they keep their eye on everything. I mean, there is somebody literally like this. Okay.
Watching 32 teams. Wow.
They're at 95 minutes. They got 7 left, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff that goes on. It's very real.
Bro, I can remember, man, in college, we had a 20-hour rule. You could only have 20 hours on the field, during football activities, period. Mm-hmm. And Snyder would blow it out the water, but nobody was calling it on him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, who you dropping a dime to there? I mean,
right.
Yeah, it's real. Well, speaking of camp, Barrett, and we go through this every year with the camp darlings, the guys who shine. I know you're going to be down there tomorrow, by the way, which is going to be awesome.
But what's different? What's crazy, man? Because I'll be at camp tomorrow, but I'm going down as alumni as opposed to going down as media.
So what's the difference?
Media. When I go down as media, I don't have access to the players. I'm not privileged to being able to talk to the players, being on the field. I have to stay back where all the cameramen are, all the
peasants,
all us common folk.
Yeah, right. All of us. Yeah.
So tomorrow,
the minions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, I'm going as alumni, and I'm not going as media. So when I get out there, I'm going on the field. I'll be able to talk to those guys, have access to those guys, but I won't be able to interview them or anything. But I'll just be around them. I'll get a sense, So I can't wait until Monday. Well, actually, I'll be able to do it on Friday when I come on the show about everything that went on. So I can't interview them, but I can definitely give everybody a report on what I saw through my eyes in practice. And that's what I love about doing that. Now, I'll also go on Saturday, but Saturday I'm going as media, so I'll be back behind the ropes like everybody else.
I would imagine also you get a little more intel. You're listening to the coaches talk to the players, the coaches talking to each other. about strategies for certain downs and
Absolutely.
distances, running certain routes, blocking techniques. You get a little bit more of an advantage in that regard, being right out there in the middle of it.
Yeah, but I tend to keep a little bit of that stuff. I keep that stuff,
Yeah, I know to yourself, but I'm saying you have it here.
Yeah, I'll have it here. But
future.
Being out there, I'm seeing that. But the biggest thing, with being out there and being able to be around there, you know what I love the most?
What?
Free lunch, man. Them lunches are so good in there, bro. That food is amazing in there, man. I'm talking about
their cafeteria.
Oh, their cafeteria is sick. Oh my goodness,
man,
unbelievable food.
I get to eat free, bro. I can't wait, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's so good, and there's so many options in there.
Yes,
like it's
crazy,
unreal how good that cafeteria.
What is wrong with Dang Burrito, man? That dude crazy, man. He better use a whole J. Jaws umbrella.
No, the one I like the most is Showtime that says, "Let's see how many guests."
Gesture. I like the end of it. That'd be a kind gesture.
I like Showtime where it says, "Let's see how many guests Barrett can get for the show." Thank you, Showtime. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh man, you guys are terrible, man.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny though. It is funny. Yeah, look, but so I'm looking forward to your insights, man. But there is always that guy that becomes the darling, man.
The
that
Paul
just
Turners.
Skyrockets, right?
Yeah, the Paul Turners.
Who's the guy this year, Barrett?
You know what? I actually think it's going to be somebody on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going defense this year.
Okay.
And
really?
I'm going with Kyron Johnson, linebacker from Kansas. I think he will be the camp darling because I think he's going to have a lot of he's going to have a lot of reps. He's going to have a lot of reps during the preseason, especially during camp. So I think he's going to be ready to go in and take that Sam linebacker position and run with it, because he'll have the reps. They're not going to put Hassan Reddick out there. So because of that, I really think this young kid is going to be so productive that they're going to need him to play a little bit. So I think he's going to be that camp darling just because I just looked at him, man, and saw how he was built. I called the Kansas game last year, and I just saw all the stuff that he was doing, moves, just being a real monster out there playing, whether it was rush in, or it was linebacker. He did all of them. He played a linebacker depth. He played on the line as a rusher. He played the typical Sam linebacker, lined up over the tight end in coverage, also in the run. I think he's going to be the camp darling. You're going to hear a lot about Kyron Johnson, his ability to go out there and play linebacker.
Why did he fall back? Was it just a Kansas thing? Like he wasn't maybe the biggest school? Yeah.
It was more so a Kansas thing, and he's more specialized, as a pass rusher / Sam linebacker. I really thought, because he played against some pretty good teams. He was playing against everybody in the Big 12, had some great production. I don't know why he fell as low as he did, but I thought he was going to get high. I thought he was going to be drafted high 2s. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Well, low 2s, high 3s, right around there. Yeah, I thought he's that good of a player.
Okay, all right. So that's the one to keep your eye on, Kyron Johnson. Kid out of linebacker, versatile linebacker out of camp. Look, there's always the offensive guy too that lights it up in a preseason game, and all of a sudden, I think Covey's going to be a guy that we're going to be looking at.
And the stream loves him. Yep.
I think there's people are. I think more than anything else, it's a curiosity thing with Devin Allen, just to see this guy run. How that translates after sitting out of football for 6 years.
Right. Can he run routes? Effective. You can be fast and can't run routes.
Right.
You can't be rounding out routes off. You got to be very precise. You got to be able to get to the depth you're supposed to be at. Have comebacks. Can he catch? We don't even know if he can catch yet.
Yeah. That's a long layoff, man. That's a lot of time not playing football. I will say this: at least he's not some guy who never played football, and they're just saying he can run, throw him out. He played at Oregon. He played at a high level, but I think that's too long a layoff person. And the other thing is, that's a really tough position those guys are trying to make. I know they would be more like specialists and whatnot, but we talked about it yesterday, man. You go through the wide receiver position. You're already like 4 down before you even get to Rager.
Right.
So what's there, maybe one spot left? Maybe.
Exactly.
After that, how many receivers do you typically keep?
5 to 6. 5 to 6. And
you got to be able to play teams. You got to be able to tackle, maybe return. I don't know. It's a good question. Rager was one of the guys who was the primary, at least yesterday in practice, as the punt returner. So
was he?
Yesterday he was. Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's if he was the primary guy right now, it's going to be hard for Covey to make this squad and Allen to make this squad.
Yeah.
You know, man, that's kind of.
Yeah, I just think some of it depends. You know, I mean, it just how it shakes out. Like he fumbles a punt in a preseason game, it could be a different story. I don't know. Because I think Reagor's playing in these preseason games. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah.
I like the question Mr. Taz has. When vets are on the field as alumni, do coaching staff ever ask you guys for any ideas on how to optimize players? Yes, they actually do. I sat down and had a great conversation with Roy Itzvan, offensive line, assistant offensive line coach, and sat down. We talked a lot about Dillard. We talked a lot about, you know, how he's progressed as a player, how he's gotten stronger. You know, we also talked a lot about what's his name, Suopeta. They love Suopeta. You know what I mean? Love him because he's one of those guys that they took from being virtually just a slug and made him into a player, man. So of course, you know, they're gonna have high hopes for those type of guys. So he and Dillard are the camp, you know, they're camp darlings this year. And evidently those two have been playing well enough that Suopeta's been linked to, you know, even competing for that right guard position.
Okay. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about is the right guard spot. Jeff McLean's going to be joining us from the Inquirer at 1:00. Jeff was down there yesterday. There's no media access today with the walkthroughs, just an FYI. So you're not going to be getting those kind of reports.
No.
The play-by-play on the walkthroughs, you're not going to be getting that today. But we'll talk to Jeff at 1:00. All right, so we come back, guys. Here's the question I have for you.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't get my turn. Rob just forgets me all the time, man. You know,
I'm so excited to have. Purpose. By the way, I didn't mention this.
What the heck?
No. I was on with Jody and John today for Birds 365, and John was concerned about Barrett. He was missing him. He thought Barrett ran away. He didn't know what happened. I promised John that Barrett would be on today's show, so we delivered. Barrett's here. Just anyway, John was missing you, Barrett. I'm telling you. But for what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Derek, what will be your camp, darling, Derek? My bad.
I don't even want to share it now. I'm sorry. Just go to break. I don't even want to share it.
No,
I have 4 guys on the list, but I'll just mention one, and I start with Carson Strong. And here's a guy. When you look at his measurables from all the experts, he has all the intangibles to have been a first-round draft pick. But obviously, a lot of teams were scared off because of the multiple knee injuries and knee surgeries that he's had on his right knee. But when you look at this kid, you know, he threw for over 4,000 yards, 30-something touchdowns, and only 8 picks last year. They talk about how this kid has the arm strength to make any throw on any given down across his body. They compared him to a Drew Bledsoe type, Brett Favre type quarterback. Now, he was projected to go in the 4th or 5th rounds. He didn't get drafted, okay? And the Eagles picked this kid up. Now, the negative on him is they view him as a stationary target. I guess his knee has had so much scar tissue that he's like a stationary target in the pocket. But they said this kid is not afraid to zip a 30-yard pass in a small window over the middle of the field. Great arm strength, has everything you want from a quarterback in the future, except the concern about being mobile. Everybody's looking for that next mobile quarterback. And I think he's an intriguing candidate in terms of possibly making his team or them trying to stash him on the practice squad initially because of all the other intangibles. Now, they've got to see it. It's going to be interesting to see how he fares when competition comes up, when he goes down to Miami, things like that, and how many reps the Eagles actually give him and how many game reps they may actually give him in the preseason as well. But this kid could be the sleeper of camp. You know, not only a darling, but a sleeper.
Well, you know, D-Gun, you know, remember I did a game. I did the Kansas State Nevada game.
Right.
And remember when I came back, you know, when I was watching film, when I was kind of telling you know, talking about him, and you know, just for casual conversation. But then, you know, when I literally sat back and I watched this kid play, man, he has everything, man. He can hose at a country mile, and he throws great deep balls. That was his thing, great deep balls. Only thing is that functional mobility, man. He's just not going to move around. He's going to sit there like Brady. I'm not saying he's going to play like Brady, but he's going to sit there like Brady.
Yep.
And he's going to get the ball out of his hands because he doesn't want to get hit.
Right.
So those are things that can be a gift and a curse. It's not always great to be a guy that's going to run around because you're going to try to get the ball out on time where it's supposed to be at to keep the chains going.
Right.
Kind of like Eli.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Barrett, because I'm glad you said that, because I looked at his numbers over the last 2 years. He completed 70% of his passes the last 2 years.
Wow. See,
his numbers are incredible, Derek.
See what I'm saying? So not only is he getting the ball out quickly because he doesn't want to get hit, he's accurate.
Right.
Yes.
His numbers last year, 4175 yards, 36 touchdowns, 8 INTs, completing 70% of his passes. So he's not holding the ball long.
No.
And he sees it. That tells me he sees it quickly.
Yep.
And he's getting the ball to where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And when you talk about, who he's throwing to, now Nevada's never known for having great pass catchers. But obviously these guys are hanging on to whatever he's throwing, and he zips it in there.
Yeah.
So I think he has a Brady-esque type in terms of, Brady ran a 40 in like 8 days. When you looked at how his career went on, Brady ain't running anywhere. Okay?
No.
His first step is to hit the ground, save his body. And who's to say that this Carson Strong couldn't be another guy like that? And people laugh, but don't forget, Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. Absolutely. He was an afterthought coming out of Michigan.
Yeah, I think it's more. It's not even so much you just need pocket mobility. That's all you need. You don't need to be a sprinter. But I think more than anything else, from what we're hearing, there's some, I guess, degenerate stuff with the knee. If the knee holds up, man, this guy could be a steal.
Well, I would equate him between a mixture of Byron Leftwich and Eli Manning. He's a mixture of Byron Leftwich and Eli Manning.
There you go. That's a good comparison. It's a good comparison. They get the
ball out of their hands. I mean, Leftwich threw a great deep ball.
Yeah, he did.
Eli threw the ball in time when it's supposed to be out because he didn't want to get hit. So you take those two and mix them together. That's what you get.
There you go. The other one I got on my list, I'm not going to mention all four because I know you got to get to a break.
No, we're good.
John Hightower.
Whoa.
John Hightower. Now, here's a guy who played 11 snaps. He played 11 snaps last year, was buried on the practice squad. New coach comes in, doesn't like something about John Hightower. But his rookie year, in Doug Peterson's last year here, he played 346 snaps in 13 games. Okay. But then all of a sudden, he got nicked up last year, but he was healthy enough to play. As a matter of fact, he could have been activated for that playoff game against Tampa Bay, but they activated another receiver instead of him. Right. And I wonder why. I wonder what Nick Sirianni didn't like about John Hightower's game. Here's a long, lean body who his rookie year showed he had some promise. All of a sudden, a new coach comes in, and the new coach goes, I don't know.
Well, Big Red did it to me.
Well, yeah. I don't want to bring it up.
I do wonder, too, is that something where Hightower, sits – I'm sure like exit interview, but I'm talking even beyond that. Sits and look, what do I need to do differently here, man? Like what's the issue? I don't know. I mean, you wonder because he did look like he had some potential, Derek, and now he's in that numbers crunch, man.
Right. He was a weapon, with that earlier coaching staff. They loved him. In fact, but they didn't like the other guy though. So they love Hightower, but they didn't like Quez Watkins. Then this coaching staff comes and they love Quez Watkins and they don't like Hightower. It's just your taste. It's whatever you feel.
Timing, man. Timing in life. You could be at the right place or the wrong place, and sometimes it only takes one person not to like you or one person to like you.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. You just got a ball, man. Period.
You got to
show you got it, man. Yeah. A lot of guys don't take advantage of opportunities, man. You get a short amount of opportunities, especially during camp. You got to maximize those opportunities. He'll get plenty of time during camp, because they're not going to play those top three guys.
No, right. You're right. That's the great advantage these guys have. The way preseason games are approached, all the backups are going to get plenty of time.
Absolutely,
you have to.
Yeah,
you have to decide how you're going to fill out this roster.
Yep.
Well, all we talk about is front lines guys, but you got to have second and third tier guys also.
When you look at,
and I'm looking at Tavern Mikey said tonight on Twitter, D Gun compares Carson Strong to Tom Brady. No, it says he's the next Tom Brady. No, I did not.
He's kidding. Did not say that. I think he's kidding.
I know he is, but I know no.
But you know what, man? I doubt if you see Brown, Smith, Pascal, or they might play Watkins a little bit, but I don't think the other three guys will see the field this entire, because that's why they got Ward, they got Hightower, they got Wheatfall, Allen, Covey.
Yep.
They just signed Lenore. So they got plenty of guys to run routes out there. They'll have ample opportunity to go out there and play. See, this roster,
and you're not, and if you're Carson Strong, I think Minshew's going to get what, a quarter maybe,
the entire 3 games.
Yeah,
and there's 3 games this year. There 3 games now.
You can see
3 games last year.
It's 3
last year. Yeah.
It started
so we
last
got
year.
3 now. That 4th game used to be, where you show your stuff as a guy that's low on the totem pole. You go out there and you're interviewing for 31 other teams.
Yeah.
Guess when you have to play? They don't have that now. So
no.
I mean, we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, 4th game, the regulars didn't even put on the uniform. They were on the shirt, the
So
shorts, the sideline shorts, and T-shirts, man.
They got to get it going. They got to get it going.
Let it all hang out. That's for sure. All right, so come back, guys. Who has the most pressure on him? Sirianni, Gannon, Hurts,
or Brooks? Deal up with you two.
Yeah. Derek's the answer.
I'm in a happy place. I am not taking shots at Barrett today.
You gotta save all your energy for your babysitting.
That's what it is.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. See, we're talking football. So I'm just still thinking, okay, what am I going to do with these 2?
You better pace yourself. You don't want to leave. You don't want to have no gas left in the tank at 3:00, man. You need
what games you got for them?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, man.
You better be prepared, man.
How many popsicles do I have in the freezer?
So I'm going to give you time to regroup now, Derek. Recalibrate. All right, get set. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, finances are a big deal. You don't work that hard for nothing. You don't work that hard, when it's retirement time, not to be in good shape, okay? And I got the person who can help you get to that finish line and be in good shape. That's Jim Murray from Principal Financial Group. I can tell you from personal experience, he's absolutely amazing. All right, he is amazing. Whether you're going through retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, if you have your own business and you have employees and you're trying to set up their employee benefits, that's another resource that he can help you with. I can tell you personally, years I tried different things. I tried different people and I wasn't happy. And I finally got to the right person who can answer all my questions and kind of be ahead of things, be proactive, not reactive. And that's Jim and Principal Financial. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover to Jim, and I couldn't be happier. You can too. Give him a call. 610-996-4751. That's 610-996-4751. Or you can email him at Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.